Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ed. Alright, I've opened one of the templates here in Photoshop, one of the PSD files, and I just want to go over in this first video the basics, and we're going to start over here on the right here with the layers panel. And if you don't see this layers panel, when you open Photoshop, it might look something like this. Okay, if you don't have that layers panel over here, just come up here to window, select that, and then go to layers and select it, or you can hit F7 to turn it on and off. I prefer to just come up here, click on layers, it'll open up. Alright, now you can see here these are folders. You see the folder icons, and then if I click on the little arrow underneath the folder, it opens the folder, and then I can select the individual layers. So if I select Charles Moyle, you'll see that New York Times bestseller. The other way to select a layer is right here on the template. So if I come here and on Charles Moyle, if I right click and now I select Charles Moyle layer, that's the one I want, and now I have this layer selected. Alright, which just means now I can, with this move tool, I can hold the left key and move it around if I want to, but we'll get into more of that later. Let me go ahead, and you see here if I open up the different folders, now I can see all the layers and select them all individually. The other thing you need to know about the layer panel is the visibility, which is these eyeballs here on the right, on the left. Okay, so if you see here the background, this black background, if I click the eyeball off, it disappears. Okay, same thing, here's this image. Okay, if I click that off, it disappears. If I click the eyeball on frozen, frozen disappears. The other thing to know about the layers here on the right is that they are stacked here in order. Okay, so layers up top are in front, and layers on the bottom are furthest in the back. So what you'll see what I mean here in a second. If I take frozen here, okay, so that is here and it's in front of these backgrounds. If I drag it all the way to the bottom below background, that puts it behind the background. Okay, so now I can't see it because it's behind this background here. Now if I turn that eyeball off, you'll see it. Okay, now if I just go ahead and drag it back to where it was, which is on top of the background, okay, now it's in front, invisible. Alright, same thing goes for this copyright. Okay, if I choose that copyright here and then I drag that to the bottom, okay, now I can't see it. See, it disappeared. But now if I take it here and drag it all the way back up to the top where it was, now it's in front and I can see it. Just another example, if I took the background image here, this black background, and dragged it in front of Frozen and Road, you'll see those disappear because now that black background is in front of them. But you see I can still see Charles Moyle, New York Times. Okay, I can still see the subheadline and copyright because those are all in front of the background and these are all below, meaning they're behind. So now if I go ahead and drag this back down here, now everything's where it should be and I can see everything. Alright, moving right along, let's go to some other tools we're going to use here. This is the move tool, which like I said, if I right click and choose Charles Moyle, okay, I can left click on this and move it around. Okay, I can move it anywhere I want. Okay, if you go ahead and move something and you don't like it, what you do here, if you don't like where you moved it, you come up here to edit, you choose step backward, okay, and that'll put it right back to where it was before. The other thing you can do is when you're moving it, so I'll go ahead and select it again. Alright, now if I want to move it, it's already centered here. If I just want to move it straight down but not move it side to side, if I hold the shift key and move it down, I can move it straight down and it won't go side to side. See how I'm trying to move it side to side, but now I can just move it and not have to worry about keeping my hand straight. As long as I hold that shift key, it'll only go straight up and down. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead, I want it right back where it was, and I go step backward, or you can use undo, but I prefer just step backward. It'll just take it back one step. The other tool we're going to use here is the text tool. So if I go here and click on the text tool, this will allow me to edit text. Alright, so if I go here and click near this Charles Moyle layer, okay, it's just going to ask me about substituting the font because I haven't installed this Antonio regular font, just because I don't really use it. But all the fonts are listed in the folder of the template, so that's easy. You just go, it gives you the link to find this font, and then you install it on your computer. But I'm gonna go ahead, or you can just do what I do and you click OK. Okay, and then you'll be able to, it'll substitute the font, and then you're able to select it because you're on the text tool. You just hold the left key and select this. Okay, and now I can change just with type in a new name. Okay, I can change the name, and I can do the same here with the text tool on Frozen. And go ahead and substitute, double click to select the whole thing, change Frozen to cold. Okay, and that's how I change text. Pretty simple stuff. The other way you can do things is if, like, say I wanted to just put a new piece of text somewhere, okay, with the text tool, I'll just go here to start the box, okay, drag this, and then now I'll be able to type in icy. Okay, now I can go ahead and turn off cold, and I have icy here. And I can also, you can move it here with the move tool and your mouse, but the other thing you can do is with the arrow keys, if you want to, because sometimes if you want to get real precise with it, you can see here it kind of jumps. Okay, so if I'm just using the mouse, I can't get it right where I want, but if I go ahead and use the down arrow, it'll just inch it little by little right there. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that layer off. Okay, I'm going to turn this layer on real quick, just because, one last thing, because I've got this layer here that I don't want. Okay, if you have a layer you don't want or you're not going to use, you can go ahead and just right click here, select delete layer, and it'll just to make sure it double checks, you can go ahead and click yes, and now that layer is gone.